Friends, so 6 years ago, I packed my bags and moved from Kansas City, Missouri to Charlotte, North Carolina.
He set out on a long trip.
A long trip.
Leaving everything he knew behind.
Everything I knew behind.
To go for a brighter future.
A brighter future. And guess what? You might be in the same boat. So if you are looking at a new market to move to, maybe you're looking at Kansas City, maybe you're looking at Charlotte, North Carolina. Well, before you decide, there's some things you have to know from someone who has lived in both places. And many people move to the wrong city and end up regretting it. So do not let that happen to you. We want to make sure you choose the best option, whether it's because of a job opportunity, cost of living, or maybe just everyday lifestyle. One of these cities might be the perfect fit for you, while the other might be a huge mistake. So let's break it all down. And I am James Lanius. This is my wife, Madeline. She was actually born and raised in Charlotte. I was born and raised in Kansas City. We both live in Charlotte, North Carolina now, so we see who won. But just kidding.
I didn't. You wanted to pay.
But I do get calls, texts, and emails from folks all the time who have real estate questions or need real estate help or want to buy, sell, or invest in our market here in Charlotte and Upper South Carolina. So if you're in that boat, if you need help on your real estate journey, go ahead and reach out, give me a call or shoot me a text. My number's on the screen or in the description below.
Yes, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and like this video if you would like to see more videos like this about Carolina living content.
Let's do it. Yes. So let's go ahead and dive into each of these cities, starting with Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'll pass that over to the native.
Yes. So Charlotte, North Carolina is located in the southeastern U.S. It's the largest city in North Carolina and one of the fastest growing metro areas, and it's not even the capital.
No.
Raleigh's the capital.
Yep. It's big. It's growing.
Perplexing. Anyway, so it's a major banking hub with a modern city skyline, strong suburban communities, and a booming real estate market, as Mr. James would know. It has professional teams, sports teams like the Carolina Panthers, which they are the NFL, the Charlotte Hornets, which is the NBA, and the Charlotte FC, which is MLS. And we have like a pretty big NASCAR presence. We actually have the NASCAR Hall of Fame here.
Yep.
I don't know why.
We have the big racetrack up to the north.
That's
so
true, I guess.
it's the second.
See how much I know about NASCAR.
Two of the biggest NASCAR tracks in the U.S. are actually in Charlotte and Kansas City. So NASCAR fans, both of the cities are very NASCAR.
Yeah, that's only that over our love for NASCAR.
No, we didn't. You're losing it. Oh boy, she's losing it, folks.
That's just silly. Anyway.
Oh boy, we're never gonna get through now.
No, we are. Anyway, another one too, it's not a professional team, but the hockey team, the Charlotte Checkers, they're a pretty big hit. I mean, I'd say they win most of the time. It's more than some of these professional sports.
Yeah, for real.
Anyway, they're really fun to go see. It's like a big old party when you go, and they actually have a day every year they do like, is it $1 tickets?
$1 tickets, yeah.
It's like really cheap. And yeah, it's always a good time. Anyway, so Charlotte has a rapidly growing mix of young professionals, families, and retirees moving in. So it's a good space for everyone.
Yeah,
I guess you could say.
Kind of find something for whatever walk of life or lifestyle you're looking for, whether it's in the uptown area or in one of the suburban, historic, trendy downtown communities. So, all right, folks. So let's talk about Kansas City, Missouri. So Kansas City is located in the Midwest United States. It straddles kind of the Missouri-Kansas border. It's technically there's a part of Kansas City that's in Kansas. There's a part that's in Missouri. It's mostly in Missouri, but the greater Kansas City region kind of spans all throughout that middle part of the border between Kansas and Missouri. I would say Kansas City is mainly known for its barbecue, its jazz music history, and unique Midwestern culture.
Wait,
you, of course, have the...
Wasn't it like known for its fountains randomly?
Well, it's called the City of Fountains, and it's just because it has like the most fountains. I don't really know why, but yeah, it has a tons of fountains in Kansas City, so little known.
Forget that.
Apparently, I can't. No, they will never forget now. But yeah, Kansas City has a huge sports culture. I would say more so than Charlotte. We have the Kansas City Chiefs, of course. We won't talk about the recent Super Bowl.
Well,
we have the
win. Well,
yeah. Well, we won't talk about that recent instance where they played a game, but we'll talk about the Royals because they're the Major League Baseball team there. They actually won in 2015. And before then and after then, they've been horrible. So maybe they'll be good again. They made it to the playoffs. They lost in the first round, but so anyway, we'll see. We have a strong sports culture, needless to say. I would say Kansas City, there's definitely a slower growth compared to Charlotte, but still attracting a lot of new residents due to the affordability of the area. Now let's go ahead and talk about the cost of living and the differences between KC and Charlotte. So starting with the real estate market, the median home price is at $420,000 in Charlotte. And this is appreciating steadily, but competitively. So Charlotte's seeing rapid growth. I'd say it's doubled in the last 5-6 years, the values and the median and the average sales price of homes. So it's pretty crazy. So in Kansas City, the median home price is at $300,000. So obviously it's a lot more affordable.
Cheaper.
Yeah, slower appreciation here. It's not as crazy as Charlotte. Renting in terms of each of these cities, KC has a lot lower rental prices on average, while Charlotte is way more expensive with rent because of demand. Taxes and expenses wise, I should say. Charlotte has a North Carolina state income tax at 4.75%.
Huh.
Missouri state income tax is at 4.95%, so pretty much the same. Missouri is a little bit higher. Sales tax is at 7.25% in Charlotte, whereas it is at 8.85% in Kansas City. So overall, it's not too much of a difference in terms of taxes and such.
I would have thought for some reason the taxes were cheaper there.
Yeah, I mean a little bit, not by much, but yeah, let's talk about utilities and groceries. They are slightly cheaper in Kansas City, but not too much because Charlotte's just bigger, more people moving here, bigger hub, so a little bit more expensive. Now, job market and economy. So which one is stronger, Charlotte or Kansas City? Well, Charlotte is a very strong financial sector. It's actually, if you didn't know, the second largest banking destination in the United States because of the hub for Bank of America being here. Wells Fargo Bank is very here with regional facilities. You have a lot of growing tech opportunities, healthcare. Atrium and Novant Health are huge healthcare industries right here in Charlotte. Have a lot of logistics and manufacturing, a lot of startup companies moving here. Now, in terms of the median household income in Charlotte, it is $72,000, whereas in Kansas City, we're at $65,000. So it's $7,000 more in Charlotte, which
10K difference.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I thought it would actually be more than that in Charlotte, but yeah, that's about what it's at, depending on which study you look at. But so in terms of Kansas City's job market and economy, there are a ton of diverse opportunities for healthcare, engineering, tech startups, and automotive industries. You have major employers including the Cerner Corporation. You have Hallmark located near the regional headquarters. You have the Ford Motor Company here. So a little bit different of a, economy scene, but it is a little bit weaker because you don't have the giant banking and finance industries, but pretty similar. Now, in terms of weather and climate, did I say that right? Climate. Let's talk about the differences.
So your weather girl is checking in now, Charlotte versus Kansas City. So Charlotte, like we said, tends to have more mild winters, humid summers, and occasional hurricanes. Like I was saying, the hurricanes, they don't even exist really in Charlotte. I mean, I think years ago when my mom was a kid, there was a hurricane that did actually sweep through. It was pretty devastating, but like that rarely ever happens.
Yeah, rarely.
So you really don't have to worry about that too much. And no one has their houses on stilts, so. But anyway, back to the weather. There is more greenery here, more outdoor recreational options year-round as opposed to Kansas City. They have definitely for sure have 4 distinct seasons. They have lots of cold winters. I mean, there's been times where I've visited because his family lives there still, and it was like in the teens, which is kind of exciting because it's like you get an actual winter.
Yeah.
Oh.
You get to actually get cold when you work outside.
Oh, they just got a big snowstorm recently. Like,
Gotten several.
what, 6+ inches?
Yeah, well, they had like 12 inches, and then they just got like 4 or 5 more inches recently. So tons of snow. And actually, it's snowing right here in Charlotte, which is very rare.
I keep looking at it. But yeah, nice big fat snowflakes.
Yeah, but it's very abnormal for Charlotte.
Yeah, for sure. But anyway, back to Kansas City's weather. They have very cold winters with snow, and they do actually have pretty hot summers. I would say the summers, from my experience of the summers here and in Kansas City during the summer, they feel about the same. But I will say Kansas City, like that region, it's not as humid. So it feels so much better. It doesn't feel like you're drowning in your sweat and you can't breathe.
That's true.
But anyway, it's not too bad.
We do have some humidity here, but nothing as bad as Florida or something. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. I would say overall, between Charlotte and Kansas City has the more extreme temperature swings versus Charlotte is more mild.
Yeah, you have more of the in-between seasons here. You have more of a fall and more of a spring in Kansas City, whereas in Charlotte, it's pretty warm throughout, so you don't really have those cold changes that much. In terms of traffic and transportation, what are some differences between these two places? There is growing traffic and congestion due to the population boom in the last 5-6 years. These roads are not meant to have billions, trillions, quadrillions of people driving on them every single day. So
Yeah.
lots of different infrastructure updates have been done. There's a lot of work being done on these, but tons of traffic here, I would say, especially during peak rush hour times, of course. Limited public transit options as well, but they are expanding a light rail system here in Charlotte that hopefully will connect more areas. You'll be able to, use more public transit other than the buses. I would say commute times on average are between 25 and 30 minutes, sometimes more depending on where you're coming from and where you're going. Whereas in Kansas City, there's definitely much less traffic congestion than in Charlotte. I remember growing up, it seemed like 30 minutes was such a long drive to go anywhere in Kansas City. I was like, oh, I can't believe I'm driving 30 minutes. But now that I'm in Charlotte, I'm like, oh, 30 minutes is just normal. It's like a daily drive to anywhere.
Yeah, it's true.
So it is a lot different here. Kansas City's traffic's not as bad. You do have obviously some congestion during
Like bliss driving there compared to here.
I mean, you do have congestion during the peak rush hour times, but it's not as long and it is not as bad as it is in Charlotte.
I feel like everyone drives better too. It's just so much more chill.
Everybody's just more laid back off that Midwestern chilliness.
I like it better.
But yeah, you have more accessible highways in Kansas City. You're a very car-dependent city there. You don't really have any, public transportation options.
Horses and buggies, unfortunately, like here.
Yeah, horses and buggies, but commute time in contrast is about 20 to 25 minutes in Kansas City versus Charlotte's about 10, 15 minutes more, depending on where you're at. So now in terms of entertainment and lifestyle, what do we got?
Okay, so I'm your girl for entertainment and lifestyle, apparently. So in Charlotte, we have a lot of breweries. There's like growing food scene, lots of outdoor activities. You have Lake Norman, Lake Wiley, blah, blah, blah. Lake, what is it called? I guess that is,
Mountain Island Lake.
True, Mountain Island Lake.
Yeah.
And then you also have the U.S. National Whitewater Center, which you can go whitewater rafting. You can go ice skating in the winter. There's walking trails. There's rock climbing. There's all those things that I forgot about.
Frisbee golf, all types of stuff.
Sure. Anyway, there's lots of pro sports teams. There's live music venues, family-friendly suburbs. What else is there? There's like
stuff.
Game, I don't know what to call it, like game places, like where you can go do bowling and laser tag and stuff like that.
There's just an endless amount of things to do, I would say.
Yeah, for sure.
That is one strong contrast I realized when I came from Kansas City to Charlotte, is there's just so much more to do, and you can there's so many different things. And
it's not really like you go to Charlotte to like see the sights or the scenery, but there is a lot of entertainment things to do.
Different experiences, a lot of different experiences. So, yeah, but in terms of entertainment in Kansas City.
Yes, so Kansas City is famous for its barbecue, jazz culture, and a more relaxed lifestyle.
Chill.
Oh, that sounds nice. Anyway, you've got the Kansas City Chiefs. You've got the Royals. Is it Kansas City Royal? Yeah, Kansas City Royals. Their fan culture is huge, as probably everybody knows at this point. They have a really strong sense of local pride, which is really fun. Yes, it's cool. But they have a lot of
sports fans.
Yeah, they have a lot of historic sites and museums, which is really cool. His uncle actually owns a museum. Maybe you should put that in the video so people go.
Yeah, it's a Steamboat Arabia.
Yeah,
in
really cool.
Kansas City.
We've been a few times. It's really cool.
It's really cool. I was gonna say, it's just actually an old steamboat that sunk in the 1800s that they dug up in the Missouri River, and they found a lot of cool stuff, some treasure and some different things that just are the history of what it was like back in the 1800s.
Well, they like literally were on TV. There was like a documentary done.
Yeah, on the
about it.
History Channel.
Was it your own or your Aunt Lori's husband? He literally dug it, like excavated it, and your dad helped too, I think, right? Yep. Yeah, it was really cool.
Super cool. Well, that's in downtown Kansas City.
Just kidding.
Yeah, low-key famous.
Yeah, so I would say Charlotte is more like trendy kind of entertainment stuff to do, and then Kansas City is more like historic museums, just maybe more like hometown.
It is very hometown.
I really like that though. I really love that.
There's much less transplants, much less relocators. You're gonna pretty much find people that have been in Kansas City their entire life anywhere you go, whereas in Charlotte, it's a miracle or shocking if you find someone that's from here.
But every time I'm like somewhere, people are like surprised to hear that I'm from here.
Yeah. Whereas in Kansas City, it's like, wow, I'm surprised you're from this place, So obviously a lot different. Now, in terms of the real estate market, which I'm a realtor, so I like to talk about this, there is a higher home demand in Charlotte by a tons of new developments, tons of things being built here all the time. Definitely expanding the city's footprints out by 30 minutes to an hour to an hour and a half outside of Charlotte, people coming in. So definitely a lot stronger and more growing, rich real estate marketing in Charlotte. Stronger investment potential as well in Charlotte, whereas in Kansas City, I would say it's a lot more affordable if you're looking for a home or looking to move there and you don't have quite the budget for the Charlotte area. You do have a lower cost of entry for investors if you're looking to buy some investment or rental properties or start a portfolio. The market growth is steady there, but not as fast as Charlotte. So I think Charlotte does have the edge in terms of investment portfolios, but you definitely have opportunities in Kansas City to do that as well. So let's talk about schools and family friendliness. What are some differences?
Yes, so Charlotte has a lot of well-rated school districts. Some of them are like the most high rated in the Carolinas. Strong private school options. They've got lots of growing family-oriented suburban areas.
Yeah, I would say on that real quick, there's a lot of historic, downtown, trendy suburbs of Charlotte that just really make Charlotte so diverse. I mean, you're not gonna just get in Charlotte when you're in Charlotte. You have all these surrounding areas that are really cool. You can check out a lot of those suburbs in some of our other videos, but you can keep going.
Yeah. So Kansas City has a mix, I'd say an even mix of strong and also struggling school districts, but they do have more affordable family-friendly housing options. Wow, struggling.
Okay, it's cheaper.
Yeah, so overall, Kansas City's cheaper, but I would say overall, if you're looking for like the highest quality, probably public schools, private schools, Charlotte is the way to go. But
yeah, I'd say that for sure. And along the same lines,
for homeschooling,
wherever you want to go, I guess. Or different regulations in each state, but yes. Now in terms of safety and crime rates, on that same family-friendly trend, crime rates do vary by neighborhood, but there is improvement in terms of crime and safety in both Kansas City and Charlotte. In many areas, I would say some suburban areas in Charlotte have lower crime rates than the city center. That's pretty normal for basically any major metropolitan city. So it's the same in Kansas City. You have higher crime rates near the city and around it, but in a lot of urban districts, you have pretty high crime as well. So definitely, if you have questions about which areas to avoid in either of these places, let me know. I know which ones are good and which ones are bad. And I'll definitely look on crimegrade.org. They have a pretty good general understanding, but sometimes they don't have exact specifics. So definitely look into the crime. If you have any more questions about a specific area, let me know. I can help answer. Now, let's talk about culture and community, and then we'll decide which of these cities is a better option for you.
Okay, so starting off strong with Charlotte, like we've been saying a bunch, it's very diverse. You've got, professionals, people who work in tech and finance and all of that and stuff. And then you've got transplants and then lots of young families as well. So there's a pretty good mix of people of all ages and all walks of life. All walks of life. There we go. It's definitely still growing its identity, I guess you could say, but it has a very modern, progressive type feel. Yep. Very trendy.
But you still have a lot of history, I would say.
For sure.
There's a ton of history in both of these cities, but Charlotte has a ton of history too. You have a lot of Revolutionary and Civil War battles.
It's more so outside of the city.
Yeah, it is. But have a lot of these older historic downtowns that have a lot of history. So
and then as opposed to Kansas City, it's more of a, I'd say older type feel of a town, deep-rooted Midwestern values. They've got lots of strong local pride. It's more of a hometown feel compared to Charlotte, which is more hustle and bustle city. So.
Yeah, I know, it's become that. I think probably Charlotte was a little bit more like Kansas City 10, 20, 30 years ago, but it's definitely become that in the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
So let's see, or actually let's find out which of these cities is better for you. So out of these cities, which city wins? Well, I think it depends on who you are and what you're looking for and what you need. So
to me, it sounds like Kansas City is nicer right now.
Yeah, Madeline's kind of tired of the hustle and bustle, but
listen, the older you get, the less hustle you want, the less bustle.
Yeah.
The more nestle.
Midwestern chill charm. So I think all my Midwestern is rubbed off on her or something, but But if you are a young
I just don't want
professional,
any more hustle and bustle.
I know, but we're kind of a growing family. But if you're a young professional, maybe, I do think that Charlotte definitely has the edge because of all the major growth and presence of financial hubs and tech jobs and startups and all this stuff. Has more of an urban scene, even though Kansas City has it some, not even close to the extent that Charlotte has. What about best for families? You think Charlotte's better or Kansas City's better?
Charlotte.
I think so too. I think Kansas City is great for families, but I think there's so much development and whatnot in and around Charlotte that whatever you're looking for or whatever your family is looking for, you're going to find it somewhere within an hour or 45 minutes of Charlotte. And I think there's just great schools here. There's tons of amazing suburban options and brand new homes, tons of HOA communities being built and added. But in terms of affordability, if you're looking for a home that is a lot more bang for your buck, you're going to get that in Kansas City, but you might be giving some of the other things away. Now, in terms of investment, like I was saying earlier, I would say in terms of long-term appreciation, Charlotte is your better investment property option. In terms of affordability, if you don't quite have the budget for Charlotte Center to buy homes, then I would say that Kansas City would be the way to go because that's just a little bit more affordable. All right, friends, so we've talked about Charlotte. We've talked about Kansas City, and we talked about everything in between. And I help folks buying and selling and moving in Charlotte, North Carolina every single week. And I would love to help you too. So if you're thinking about moving to either Charlotte or Kansas City, whether buying, selling, or investing or relocating, please reach out to me. You can find my number right here on the screen, in the description below, or on my YouTube banner. And go ahead and do that. And we want to just make sure that you make the move to the right city and do not make a big mistake like many people are doing.
Yeah.
Let's connect soon.
Yes, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you would like to see more videos like this.
Do it up. Talk soon.